Hello everyone and welcome back to Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. In the last episode, things didn't go great for us, but not too bad either. We were basically able to raise an objection that how could a murder be premeditated if they didn't bring a murder weapon? So that's kind of where we're at now. And other than that, it's not looking good. Basically, our client's already confessed. That definitely doesn't help. Let's see what we can do with this mess. Order! Great, now the tide is turning in our favor. Great show, Mr. Wright. My sister's as good as free. I wouldn't go that far at all. Right. I believe the next lunch you'll be eating is humble pie. What? I hope you weren't deluding yourself into thinking that the tide has turned. Can he read my mind? Not over such a trifling detail. But this shoots a hole in the whole premeditated theory. Bah. The prosecution could care less if it was premeditated or not. The only one who seems to care is that lunch lady over there. But it also, it discredits her testimony, to at least some extent. The defendant, Lana Sky, murdered a detective with a knife. And that is the only thing the prosecution need prove, nothing else. Very good, Mr. Prosecutor. I suppose you think you're clever now. But you know as well as I do that she planned on killing him. It was planned. If it wasn't, why would she have been wearing... I believe I'd like to hear your testimony again. Witness, please tell us only what you saw, not what you thought. How dare you? My powers of deduction are not to be underestimated. Really now? Alright, Angel's deduction, okay. Lana Sky intended to murder Detective Goodman. That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. Nothing else could drive that human machine to plunge the knife in again and again. The victim was summoned from the police department to the prosecutor's office. It does sound a lot like premeditation, doesn't it? So if I ordered a pizza, does that mean I'm planning to kill the delivery boy? In any case, the defense may now cross-examine the witness. It's actually a fair question. Alright, there's a lot wrong here, I feel like. Intended to murder detective... Ooh, sorry. Ooh. Sorry about that, it completely snuck up on me. Lana Sky intended to murder Detective Goodman. That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor. I want to press that. You have no proof that Miss Sky called him there. Oh, wait. You have no proof that she didn't. Mr. Edgeworth, thoughts? Thoughts? There's no record of a call made on the defendant Miss Lana Sky's phone. She might have written him a letter. Come on. Come on. You could have tried public phone first, at least. Phoenix. In any case, the victim came to the prosecutor's office where he was murdered. I'm sure he had a reason to be there. Witness? Why do you think it was the suspect who summoned the victim that day? It's important to whatever she was planning. I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. Alright, you definitely need to give me more than that. What kind of grudge? Well, I wouldn't know that. Of course you don't. That's because she didn't have a grudge. Rookie. I have a lunchbox here. Now, what's inside? How am I supposed to know? See, we agree there's a lunchbox here, but we don't know what's inside. A person's life is like a lunchbox with pretzels, don't you agree? A what now? I get it, that's why my lunch was so salty. Judge, you're killing me. You're killing me, Judge. This judge isn't very good with metaphors. The suspect had a grudge against Detective Goodman. Will you tell us your basis for thinking this? It's simple. I plunge a knife in again and again. Wait, hold up. Nope. What is this thing doing? Where's our autopsy? One knife wound. Come on. Alright, I'm gonna press, and then if that doesn't work, we'll present that. A human machine? That's a contradiction. What? Phoenix, it wants me to present the evidence. Please. Can't you find fault with something of substance, Mr. Wright? You're not wrong. Note to self, Mr. Ezra's sighs smell like citrus fruit. You say again and again, how many times did she stab him exactly? We often say chop into 1,000 pieces, but we don't actually mean 1,000 pieces. What difference does it make if the deed is done? How come she's getting mad at me? Let's just say she stabbed him several times and leave it at that. Leave it at that? This is a murder case, people. Mr. Wright, you should speak up if you have an objection, you know. Miss Stars turned out to be as short-tempered as she looked when we met her. Challenging her abilities as a detective really set her off. The short wick burns out the fastest. It's a scientific fact. I wonder, wouldn't it depend on the size of the candle? I mean, add more wax and even a really short wick will burn longer. Obviously, more scientific testing is required. Okay, hold up. That's a grudge, nothing else. Okay, so present. Hold it! Objection. You say she stabbed him again and again, but you couldn't have witnessed that. Are you testing me? Then I'll test you. With my moss surprise. I'm afraid the moss is growing under our feet as we wait, Miss Star. Ooh. I like the extra facial expressions. I feel like they didn't maybe necessarily do it for all the characters, but Angel Star for sure definitely has probably more facial expressions than I've seen from the other cast. What do you mean? You shouldn't have to explain this, but take a look. The autopsy report states the death was due to a loss of blood from one stab wound. Aha! You're right. Good show, Mr. Richards. What? I'm making the Phoenix face right now. What a hunk. He's my hero, really. Just gonna get up and walk away now. What's the point? What about my objection? No one noticed? Oh, I feel his pain on that one. Well, witness? You got the crime scene set, right? Oh, thanks. I always believed that no one could ever mistake ketchup for blood. But now I realize such mistakes are possible. So, you're saying you mistook something for blood? When she lifted her knife, I thought I saw blood at her breast. What? Splattered blood from her victim. That's why I thought she must have stabbed him at least twice. You said several. Then tell us what you saw that you thought was blood. Testify. What she thought was blood? I feel like we're off on a tangent here. The thing is, I feel like we've established that she is not a reliable witness. And maybe that shouldn't be it, but I think that's at least reason to investigate further. Her red muffler looked like blood to me. That's how ghastly the whole scene was. Miss Stars turned out to be as short-tempered as she looked when we met her. Changing her abilities at— oh wait, what? The short— this is all stuff we've seen before. Right? Obviously more scientific— okay. Yeah, no, we've seen all this before. Tended to— Goodman, that's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. Held a grudge. Her red muffler looked like blood to me. That's how ghastly the whole scene was. What? The murder weapon. Can I take a look at this? Must be the victim's blood. Either that or Edgeworth cut himself peeling. Okay, no, we saw this already. Alright, that's not gonna help. Okay, so that gives us a time. That also doesn't help here. I want to know how the blue badger is gonna come into this, because I hope it's like the final clue. That would be amazing. Victim's memo found in the car trunk. 675 12-2. Alright. Lana Sky, last call made to her sister Emma at 518. Oh, crime photo. Let's take a look at that. I'm so confused by this statement. I honestly don't even know where to object. Let's start with pressing. Her red muffler? Yes, like a... Oh! Okay, that's what I thought. Like a scarf, the chief prosecutor always wears one around her neck. Hold up. What? What? How about this one? Oh, it's not the... Well, I guess I'm gonna present that, because that's definitely not true. So she can be easily hanged at a moment's notice, I suppose. She's right. This guy was wearing a red scarf, wasn't she? Wait, isn't it odd that you mistook that for splattered blood? Well, people often mistake my beard for a bib. Oh, what? A judge with a bib. That's why this place feels so much like a kindergarten sometimes. Oh. Phoenix, I'm right there with you. Actually, I do think I saw some traces of blood on her chest. However, the autopsy report is clear on this matter. There was only one knife wound. Apparently, Miss Starr isn't entirely sure of her own testimony. Mr. Wright, this is our chance. Chance for what, I wonder? Miss Starr's turned out... Yeah, okay. It's gonna play through all this stuff again. Just get a sip. Alright, I think I'm gonna present this. Cool. Mr. Wait. The witness is clearly not suited for detective work. I didn't even get to read that. What? The suspect was not wearing a scarf or muffler of any kind when she stabbed the victim. And you've proved it yourself with this photograph. Huh? But that can't be. Only a professional lunch lady could be so utterly clueless. Ah, Edgeworth, I missed you. Congratulations, perhaps you finally found your true calling in life. Harsh words, but good. In the end, Mr. Edgeworth prevails. What was my objection, chopped liver? But it was there, a scarf. No, not that, but something red, really. Well now, where were we? The witness has given us an entertaining interlude, but back to business. What? Very well, witness, continue your testimony. What? Why are we still listening to her? You saw the crime and apprehended the suspect. Oh. It can't be that easy. I'm like, oh, she did it so she could, like, prove that she's a good detective and get back on the force or whatever. It can't be that easy. Maybe that's like, I'm hoping there's like a much bigger deal to this, and maybe that's the reason she got involved, was it was a chance for her to get back to being a detective. Tell us about that. Very well. I do remember some things accurately, at least. Ultimately, we couldn't shake the most important part of her testimony. The most important part? The part where your sister stabs the victim. This next testimony might just be the moment of truth. Apprehending the suspect. Okay. I guess I missed that she did the arresting. After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partition off to her side. I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. Ah, yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. The chief prosecutor made to escape, but against Angel Star, resistance is futile. You are quite determined about this scarf, aren't you? I strike like a snake and bite like a cobra. That's me, Angel Star. That wasn't a very good metaphor. First of all, a cobra is a kind of snake. Don't bother me with details unless you want to get bitten. No thanks. Note to self, Mr. Wright is weak against poisonous snake bites. The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum. An oil drum? Hard to imagine. Oh, she's beautiful but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Rawr. Very well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, if you will. The murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partition off to his side. So where is this partition on the floor plans? I'm sure she means this wall next to the car. That's right. There was a wall there about 6 feet high. She was obviously trying to hide herself. Quite a natural thing for a criminal to do. And what did you do then? Quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. Alright, I have questions about that too. You say quickly. Were you close to the suspect? As I just said, I was only 30 feet away from her the whole time. Wait a second. I wish I could see that fenced off area. Because based on the floor plans, it looks like you would have to walk around. But there could be a gate, like where it's the dotted edge there. There could be a gate in there somewhere. I don't know. I mean, there's 4. Yeah, I wish I could see the actual area. That would clear this up real fast. But yeah, what it looks like is that you have to exit through that bottom right section there, and then you come in on the left, like to get in. You would go past security, basically. I'm very sketchy on this. Maybe I should press her for more details. I think we press her. I'd like to see this on the floor plans just to be safe. The Lunchland car was... She was a visitor, thus she was parked in B block. So you witnessed the murder from here. That would make it about 30 feet from the car, yes? Is that correct, Miss Starr? Yes, that's right. But there was a chain-link fence in front of you. I went over it, of course. Amazing, the cough of Queen Lunch Lady athlete indeed. It would have taken her a little time to climb over the fence, so she couldn't have gotten to my sister that fast. Yeah, the fence was about 9 feet. Ah, there we go, that's what I thought. The fence was about 9 feet high, too. So how did Miss Sky not get away? Mention the muffler. What? Yeah, pressing that. She mentioned the muffler. What exactly did she say? If I remembered exactly, I would have told you in my testimony. Cheeky. Anyway, all I heard her say was the word muffler. Just that one word? So, what you heard wasn't the suspect talking to you, but someone else? Yes, the chief prosecutor was talking on her phone. Her phone? She can't mean... Do I want to... I guess I would have to ask further. How does that hurt my case? By phone, do you mean this cell phone discovered at the crime scene? Yes, ultimately. Ultimately. My memory. It's like a salmon heading upstream, you see. No, the court doesn't see Miss Starr. The chief prosecutor first attempted to use the phone hanging on the wall. On the wall? That's right. Near the car, there was an emergency phone on the wall. Apparently, it was out of order. And so she used her cell phone? Indeed, the emergency phone was out of order that day. Good witnessing, witness. Judge, you're killing me. Good witnessing? Whatever happened to good testifying? You should, of course, add this to your testimony. The things I do to please this rookie defense attorney. Good grief. Alright. We'll go a little bit longer. We'll get on to the next part of her testimony, and then maybe we'll call it an episode there. The word muffler was overheard during a call made to Emma at 5:18. I saw it all, how she tried the phone on the wall, but had to use herself instead. Do you think you could restate your testimony for the court? Oh, God. Aha! I was going to ask the same thing. I'll only say this one time, so listen close, rookies. The chief prosecutor stabbed the victim and ran behind the partition. Then she picked up the emergency phone on the wall, but it was out of order. So she pulled her own cell phone out of her pocket. And during that time, you climbed over the chain link fence. Then, when I boldly grabbed her arm, the chief prosecutor hung up her phone. And you saw her doing this. What is it, Mr. Wright? How could she have seen her trying to use the emergency phone from behind the partition? Okay, not that. So this guy tried to run. I'm sorry my sister is so suspicious, Mr. Wright. Not as sorry as I am. But she didn't do it. You have to believe me. Okay. The suspect attempted to run behind a partition off to the side. Okay. I quickly caught her and explained her rights to her, blah, blah, blah. When I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. And she tried the... okay. Is it this? Or did I press this already? I'm getting a little lost because it seems like the testimony is like getting inserted in places. I'm losing track of like where I've been. Alright, let's just go through the whole thing. Chief prosecutor made an escape. Okay. Shoot. Quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. When I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. I saw it all, I think is where I want to... Let's double check these floor plans. I want to be sure. Yeah. I wish I could see like their little animation, but from what I can tell, that would be right. She wouldn't be able to see Lana trying to use the phone on the wall. Is where they're going with this. Okay. Miss Starr, I have to conclude that you have a personal grudge against Miss Lana Skye. The witness is a former detective. Her testimony is unmarred by personal bias. Well, who would have thought you would be my knight in shining armor, prosecutor? You, who, together with the chief prosecutor, kicked me out 2 years ago. Well, Miss Starr, this is a fatal contradiction with your testimony. How do you explain this? I don't know what you're talking about. Mess with me, and I'll make you cough it all up. Let's look at the floor plans. You said you saw the witness. You said you witnessed the crime from this point. However, if that's true, you couldn't possibly have seen Miss Sky making that phone call. I believe you see what I'm getting at. That emergency phone was on the back side of this partition. If indeed you were in B block, you couldn't have seen it. Yeah, alright. Things are heating up. I think this is where we'll call it. Seems like a good spot. I don't know how much longer like this part of the trial is gonna go on, so we'll call it here and hopefully finish up day 1 in the next episode. I can't wait to see like all the pieces come together for this trial. Hopefully you guys are still enjoying this. Let me know in the comments. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.